Hello, everyone. Anyways, let me stop. I sound like a stereotypical YouTube. Or oh. Anyways, it's not. What was I about to say? It's your girl. Anyways, it's Poet Holiday with two L's with another video. Okay. Um, and today's topic is poetry. Well, R, cause the S. Anyways, today's topic is poetry books. Okay. And I have like no, because like when I think about it, it's kind of crazy how like, I'm kind of like an amateur poet or whatever is. And I haven't really read too many poetry books slash poetry in general. And I'm gonna change that one book at a time. You know what I mean? So hear me out. So yeah, I have like read two books, like fully from front to back of poetry in my life. It's really a really sad thing to say as a poet and having this as a poetry channel. That's crazy. So we're gonna be, talking about poetry books and the ones I've read and blah 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 blah. Oh, let me pull that up actually, because I have like my iPad up and I have like my quote unquote little book reviews or whatever. I'm not really okay, I am a critic, but like not a scholarly critic. You know what I mean? If if it's giving, it's giving. If it ain't, let it sink. Bars. Let me stop. Anyways, going on my book log. I guess I should actually like take a picture of this and show you on my cellular device. Hold on. Let me do that real quick because I have to take a picture of it. Hold on. Okay. No, actually, why did I say two poetry books? I've actually read three. I just don't have I didn't make a book review for the other book that I had read for my poetry course that I was in. It was a 300 level one. I forget like what the proper like title was of the class, but it is what it is and it ain't what it ain't. Um but yeah, let me stop rambling or whatever. So sorry. But yeah, this is kind of sporadic, but like it's kind of like I formatted it, kind of semi. But you just gotta roll with the punches sometimes. But anyways, as you can see in my two little books, Chlorine Sky. I think I've like mentioned these books before anyways. And then you can see it in my on the little thing. What am I saying? The thumbnail. And what I usually have as like my background anyways. Oh, this is just my album for like my all of everything for like this poetry channel. So nothing crazy. Honestly, I don't have anything crazy on my phone either. It's just my face. And so not excess amount of my face, but like as a recent graduate, I do have like photos of oh, and I was one of those people who I don't know, I kind of like memories. I'm going off on a tangent, but this is what you signed up for. I kind of like to have memories, and there was a part of my life where I was okay, part of my life like a year ago. Like a few months ago. um but yeah, I made like collages of all the photos that I had taken from like different points in my life. So like I would do it monthly. So I would take a decent amount of photos, especially when I was like interning for the summer or, during college, take photos every now and again, especially when like you have this one hairstyle that you're loving. Cause like, oh yeah, when I had it wasn't even flat iron, but a blowout. I think that's the most that I'll willingly do to my hair. Not just because I'm like one of those girls like the heat damage. Well, I kind of am because I kind of want to keep the hair on my head because I did kind of go crazy after combing out my locks. Yeah, because I can't commit. But it was also because I didn't part them the way I should have parted them. And honestly, I should have just got it professionally done. But at the same time, it's just like getting it professionally done. I like to do my hair myself, and that's money on that I don't have to be giving to any and everybody. So yeah. Anyways, I was a little too sidetracked. But anyways, let's get into, I guess, Chlorine Sky. Hold on. Chlorine Sky. Okay, you can see some of it. You can actually at least see this text. But Chlorine Sky by Mahogany L. Browne. And I'm just going to read what I have from right now. This book ate down the slang I knew, the overall relatability on how friendship breakups can be as painful as regular breakups. You know, the boyfriend, girlfriend kind of thing. I can't wholeheartedly rate this a 5-star read because of redundancies that took place in reference to Laylee, one of the characters in the book. But other than that, I love this book. There are so many good lines of poetry, different forms. This was an overall great read, and I loved that by the end, she was able to have more confidence in herself, which honestly, I really do love. It was so good. Like with the poetry forms, I did make a poem based off of this book. I also made a poem based off of another book, The Things You May Find Hidden in My Ear, that I'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, and you can see some of the text in here, but I will be reading it off of my iPad, so bear with me. But these are just like random little lines that I really did enjoy. Like they're not a whole poem. It's just lines, like highlights that I do. I don't really annotate like crazy, or the right way of annotating. I annotate off of like if something sat with me, if I'm like, oh, I should look into that later, or just something that interested me, or I liked how she used form, or whoever used form, specifically with poetry. What else? Different words that I'm gonna steal for myself. Great artists steal. Let me stop. Not steal. Not no copyrighted infringing theft. I'm just saying, like, a good word that someone's used. You're like, let me write a good poem about that. Well, using that term. I ain't even think about it. Thank you for the inspiration. But anyways, so one of the underlined lines is, I'm tired of chasing people to be my friend. Okay. Oh, and like, the reason why like this book, like low key, high key sat with me was because, I don't remember if I mentioned it, but I did actually make a video on, what was it? It was something about how to separate personal from something about like, I forget the title of the, you know what? Let me go through it. This is literally the album. I'm not gonna think about it. I'm gonna just go and look. Where is it? Making the Personal Public. That was the title of it. And I have like a part 2 that I had made, but I ended up just being like, you know what? It was too like raw. Raw. Let me stop. No, because the YouTuber says that like that, and I was like, that's crazy, Greg. I don't remember his name, but yeah, it was just like too like fresh. The wound was too open. Like even with, I don't know. It's also because it's like a relatively new experience for me. Even though it's been a thing since like 2 years ago or whatever, but like I don't know, it just feels like an never ending open wound that simmers a tune. I don't remember where that line is on whichever one of my poems that I've written, but yeah. Wait, Yes, I do remember. It's called A Black Hole. I think it's just A Black Hole or something like that. I don't remember the specifics, but yeah, it was just like it really sat with me. And also, like, I have a man, tell me, let me tell you, I got a decent chunk of poems just about that friendship breakup, and how things are, and ugh, it's just a lot mentally, especially with like you're dealing with other things, like adulting, especially with me, just graduating college. What was I about to say? High school? No, no. I'm not trying to reverse time. But yeah, so this like was really good for me to read. Honestly, I might have to reread it again. Okay, and I don't say that a lot about books. About rereading something, it has to really left an impact on me to want to reread it. Okay, let me continue with reading um Mahogany's work. Okay, let's stop talking about me for the time being. Anyways, she stands under the light, wringing her hands like a dish rag. um I'm gonna just read the highlighted parts. I'm not gonna read like the empty parts that I didn't highlight. I nod like I'm on defense. I am defensive. I don't want to be, but the way my patience is set up, I don't remember what's after that, but I was like, same, because I'm just not like, I have only so much patience for certain things in my life. And it's just like, I'm not getting paid for this. Like you gotta like kind of move like that in this world because I mean, especially, I, I can only talk about America, but money talks. Money is how we breathe, okay? It's how we eat, how we sleep, So if it ain't profiting you in some way, like, uh, you're gaining intellect or knowledge, or money, experience, whatever, blah blah blah. Man, let it fly. Let it fly. Okay, you more concerned with what Sean knows and where Curtis is than how you ain't never really been a good friend. That's crazy. Okay, I'm reading these lines. It's not necessarily because it relates to my specific, friendship breakup or whatever, but it's just yes, speaking to me, and also because I be not living vicariously through people, but I just be listening to people's story times on YouTube. I be like, oh my gosh, wouldn't be me, but damn, that's so crazy. And then they be talking about the red flags. I'd be like, oh my God, have mercy. Have mercy. Yeah. I'm sorry, that's from Z Nation. I love that show. And that's why I have the DVDs. But there's no DVD for the last one. Or, yeah, I think I'm missing 1 or 2 seasons. But, anyways. You were like my sister, and that's why I let you walk all over me. But I get it now. You're not my family. I was like, ooh, that's crazy work. The thing about bullies is they only notice the people that don't fight back. They take your kindness for weakness, but I'm not weak. I'm just tired of swinging. Me during my summer internship. ah, ah. ah. I was just tired at some point. Because at first I was like really furious about something, and then it was just like, I'm just tired. Like, I'm tired of the miscommunication or just lack thereof of communication. Anyways, get flashbacks. Let me stop. One day, it's like Angel woke up, just wound up her fists and started swinging. Some think maybe she started to fight so people would stop focusing on her mama. But Angel's anger grew until it had legs, arms, and its own nervous system. And then what I wrote is, see, this is what happens to nice people. No, literally, I was definitely one of those people. Really in middle school, really nice. Was I really nice? I was. Okay. At some point before, people keep pushing you or whatever, thinking they can walk all over you, say whatever to you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So like, what was I saying? Yeah, if somebody asked me for a pencil, I would give it. Someone asked me for a piece of paper, I would give it. Uh, I'd give it. It doesn't. It was no sweat off my back. My parents gave me a sufficient amount, no, amount to use or whatever. So, who am I to keep it for myself? But like, once you get to the point of like, you're saying, let me borrow X, Y, and Z, I don't get it back. I'm not talking about paper, but a pencil or a pen. Where my pencil or a pen? Okay, that sounds minute, but like, and then like, there's a specific like thing I remember in high school where it was like, where somebody was asking, I think for help, asking for my help in math or whatever. It was geometry. And I was, look, by this time, like high school, I, at least the latter half of high school, I just was, I don't think I necessarily, okay, I did kind of have an attitude problem. Not too much on that, okay? But it was also like, I couldn't fix my tone, the way I said something. And it's not what you say, it's how you say. Well, depending on what you say. Now, if you say a slur, it doesn't matter if you thought you were saying it in a cool way. Calm down. Stop playing games with us. We ain't new to this. We true to this. Let me stop. But yeah, and it's just like, I said no, and it was my tone. And you want to know the reason why I said it, and like I said it like that. Well, I didn't mean to say it like that, but that's how I felt. That's how my body felt like saying it. And that's how I was feeling in my head. Cause I was like, no, cause you're the same one who talking mess about me or whatever, or kikiing. No, I'm not gonna help you. Why would I do that? Did I do that? Let me stop. Anyways, I want to do something that ain't got nothing to do with being a girl. I want to do something that don't give folks a right to tell me to sit quiet or be still or play small. I don't want to be small. She ate. And for the first time, I just breathe and feel the pat of my chest. A friend is someone seeing you and hearing you without you having to say everything. Every time and in this moment, I realize I ain't never had anyone to say what my heart knows. Now, I can't say that because like I had relatively a good bunch of friends or acquaintances, best friend at the time, because I did have like a best friend in middle school. Definitely hope she's doing well, actually. Really cool. But anyways, and then actually two different best friends in middle school, because in middle school I transferred to another school for like 8th grade, the last year. So yeah, anyways. I don't know where I was going with that, but anyways. I was saying basically like I pretty much had people who I could vibe with. We were jamming. We were one. We were connected. You know what I mean? I need to stop saying that. You know what I mean. That needs to be erased from my vocabulary. But I just can't help it. Certain phrases, like, it stays with me for a long time too. And it's just hard to. This is the part of me that you're never gonna ever take away from me. Anyways, I don't remember that song. What was that song called? What was the title? I don't remember. Anyways, let me know in the comments though. See, a real leader knows there is no such thing as a one-person team. Right. Tell that to anybody within any of my group projects. Post high school, because that's crazy. People acting like high schoolers when maybe it's because we were able to pick our the people we were in groups with, but like that wasn't always the case for me. So like I don't know why there's this disconnect of like and it just always ends up being with my group because there are other people who will be having good groups. This is in college, this is during my internship, whatever I've ended up doing. Not every time, you know, there's some hidden gems in there. I did have some good teamwork in my internship, so you know, kudos to her for us doing the work together. But anyways, yeah, it was just why do you not want to do the work? This isn't high school, babes. Why are you acting like this? Why are you not responding in the group chat? You know I'll see you in class. Every time I see you in class, I'm looking at you. I see right through you. You see right through me. Let me stop. I'm sorry. Let's move on. Move on. You watch me until I can't be shaking, falling on my knee. Okay. Stitches by Shawn Mendes. No, Shawn Mendes used to be basically my anthem. No, well, his music specifically, not him as a person. It was his music. Camila Cabello, she was my anthem at a point too, specifically when she was doing more Spanish music. Well, music in Spanish. But yeah, it was giving. It was giving. Like I was let me continue. I'm sorry I start. No, it's okay. She seems really sad. My brothers stay dating girls like her. The kind of girl that needs others to be sad so she feels better about herself. But you're cool. You two are nothing alike. That's kind of crazy. No, because like when I be hearing these story times, I be like, that's kind of crazy that men just be out here just manipulate. Let me stop. Manipulation. Okay, I get that, specifically that way of saying it from one of Eva and Preach's videos. Okay. Oh yeah, and that video that was about anime. Oh wait, no. I think it was about what if I were to make a webcomic? And I had a poem that was called A Sickness of the Highest Order. Or was that in the video about the November write-a-thon? I don't remember. Don't remember. I don't remember. But anyways, that phrase, a sickness of the highest order. I get that phrase from Abba and Preach. Specifically, Abba says that line a lot. So yeah. Anyways, on to the last quote from Miss Browne. Or Mrs. I don't know. Don't flame me in the comments, please. Please. Okay. I didn't even show you like that part, because if you could read it, nah, I don't think you could read this screenshot. Okay, everything is a game. Some folks be playing to win the house, the job, the car, the spotlight. Everything is a game to be won, but some of us are playing for things that last longer than material things. I know that's right, because at this point in my journey through life, I'm really just trying to, right now, I'm trying to do the small things that'll help me out in the long haul, which, you know, getting a job, financial stability, pay off my loans, and, you know, get a house. You know what I mean? The good American dream. Let me stop. Stop with that mess. I think I have a poem about that, the American dream or something like that. I don't remember. No, I do believe so, actually. I do believe so. Indubitably. Did I make a Yes, I did make a poem for this. Hold on. Let me pause real quick and hold it over there. Okay, I'll see you in like a second. Anyway, accidentally like stopped the video completely instead of just pausing it. Yeah. I cry. But anyways, this is the poem kind of inspired by that book, Chlorine Sky, with friendship breakups and everything. Anyways, oh wait. Okay, this is more or less about like, family. But it can be applied to that, friendship breakup or whatever. Anyways, I'm drowning. I'm not 17 anymore. I'm not 16 anymore. I'm not 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in the womb anymore. So why do you think you can speak to me in any way you please? Well, not today. I'm tired of being so full of hate. Every time you speak, you make my bones ache. My heart breaks. My brain fogs, stumbling in and out of the words you spew so unapologetically, trying to fuse me to you as if you didn't push me under. Force feeding the waves, filling me so much. I hate being me when I'm with you. I can't see who I am anymore. But I still hear the words fall off your lips joyfully as I choke. As I choke, I can't breathe. As if you could hear me over the bubbles that escape me in shrills until I stop struggling, waiting till my last breath. Then and only then will you drag me back up, wondering why the text bubbles stop flowing. All I want to do is scream. I want to be free. But alas, I stay mute, walking away, dragging along the waves I ate, or rather drank, 'cause silence is its own horrific breeze. Gotta put a little snaps in there, I gotta give kudos to myself just a little bit. Just the two of us, just a little bit. Anyways, let's break this down a little bit. Oh, but I mostly liked the way Miss slash Mrs. Browne had spaces that, inherently just tells you like to pause a little bit, like a comma, but without the comma. I like that. So when I say like I like the form, that's mostly what I liked. Not mostly. That's one of the things I like about the form of her poetry. Anyways, I'm drowning. I'm not 17. So basically it was me saying, 18 is, where you're legally an adult in the US. So it's just like, well, you can vote. Can't drink, but you can vote. It's crazy work. You can, you can vote on who the next president is, who gets what seats. But you can't drink though. Not old enough for that. I feel like they should really move like the voting age to 21. But at the same time, I do understand that you do need a little bit of the youth, youth's insight. But that's neither here nor there. Okay. But I'm drowning. I just felt like that was the best title for this poem. And there's just a lot of the imagery that's here is water centric. So basically the countdown, not in the womb anymore. Like I'm not a kid anymore, basically. Long-winded way of saying that. So why do you think you can speak to me in any way you please? Like, really? Who do you think you are? You're not my mother, my brother. Not my brother. You're not my mother, my brother, or my father. Calm down. Keep it cute. And then I was like, just not today. I'm tired of being so full of hate. Like really, like I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of being tired. Oh yeah, that reminds me of that line that was in there about they take your kindness for weakness, but I'm not weak. I'm just tired of swinging. Right. Anyways, every time you speak, you make my bones ache, my heart breaks. This specifically is like every time I get call, text, or whatever. This can be said from the friendship breakup, and then also to this one, two specific family members, where like every time I get a text, a call, I hear about their name, I hear their name, see their name, whatever, and it's just like, oh my gosh, just it's something that's gonna like flip my whole world upside down. Like what is it now? And it's just like one of those things where like it feels like someone's squeezing on your heart in a sense. But anyways, dramatic maybe, but you know that's what it feels like. My brain fogs, stumbling in and out. I like that that space, you know, the in and then um out is the outlier, you know, like in those math things with the little outlier dots from the diagram. I forget what those are called. It's something graph, one of those graph, dot plot, something. Anyways, so long ago. Anyways, of the words you spew so unapologetically, you, and I feel like that's the most disrespectful thing to be to say to someone, so unapologetically you, but saying that in the wrong way. You know, saying like that ain't a compliment. You know, trying to fuse me to you. Ooh, the lack of space in between me to you, love that. And then as you can see, the Y and U is the only thing like pretty much capitalized in this. I don't even think I or my, me is capitalized. Yeah, I'm not, and that was very intentional on my part. Trying to use me to you as if you didn't push me under. Of course, the water imagery of water. Um, Force feeding the waves, feeling me so much. That reminds me of that one quote. My college did like a little virtual thing because it was 2021. A virtual like kind of tester course thing. Um, and it was basically talking about how there's a point where um I think it was during the women's movement, and women had stood their ground and were not accepting to um eat anything, so they were being force fed. And that's what this these two lines remind me of. But that's a little graphic, but I'm sorry. Roxy, I'm sorry. I go from like being very carefree but also to being serious in a sense, but like the carefree never leaves. Okay? So, you know, strap on in. Let me stop. I hate being me when I'm with you. I thought about taking out the when I'm with you because I was like, maybe that's just redundant. But I just felt like it needs to stay because like I hate being me, not because I don't like myself. No, because of you. Because I have to change myself so much, gut myself like a fish, in a sense, and become whoever you want me to be. But I can't see who I am anymore, right? But I still hear the words fall off your lips joyfully as I choke. I can't breathe, as if you can hear me, over the bubbles that escape me in trills. Basically, I'm out here, like, you can see it probably in my face, the way I'm speaking, how I pause in between, like, speaking to you or something like that, to reel it in, or the way I look away or something. Just the body language, the tone and everything. It's just like it's showing you that like maybe stop talking. Like maybe let's talk about something else or something. But um basically you don't care about anybody's feelings but yourself. Until I stop struggling because I'm tired. And this is, okay, I'll talk about it by the end. Waiting till my last breath. This is where I capitalize, and take ownership and be like, okay, of saying like what I am doing, what I want to do, or whatever. I'm taking ownership, taking my voice back in a sense. Anyways, So you can see on the right, I hate being me when I'm with you. That's capitalized. But then on the left, but I still hear the words falling off your lips, basically regressing in a sense. And then boom, I can't breathe. And then, regressing again. Well, kind of. But until I, capitalize, stop struggling. Waiting till my last breath. My M is capitalized in the my. And then and only then will you, capitalized, drag me, capitalized, back up. And then I like the little slashes to look like, will you, drag me, and it's going down and then back up. Me back up. Honestly, I felt like I was a mathematical genius. Let me stop. Wondering why the text bubbles stopped flowing. Me saying, hey, yo. I'm not talking with you anymore. Like, you're not a part of my life anymore. I'm setting you to the side. You're stressing me out too much. Okay, helicopter. Or plane. Maybe helicopter. I don't know. Anyways, all I want to do is scream. I want to be free. And then for the scream, I like the because it's like, it's not even a full fleshed out belly, not belly laugh, but a full fleshed out scream. It's still contained. It's still respecting your elders, or respecting the relationship that you had, and respecting the past that you've had with this person, the relationship, respecting the person and things like that. So it's not a full onslaught. It's contained. But then we're going all caps. I want to be free. And then the scream, I was like, I don't know. Basically saying I want someone to see me, like the CEM is capitalized in scream, and SRA is lowercase. But alas, space, I stay mute, space, walking away. Just I'm choosing my battles, picking and choosing my battles, whether it's, and then even at that, like, it's a battle to be silent. Sometimes you have milestones you would like to tell, like family members or whatever, but then you remember the repercussions of that, of your actions, because at some point you got to be like, it's not them at this point, it's me. I'm choosing this life. I'm choosing to continue to interact with this person or these people. Dragging along the waves I ate, or rather drank. I just like to have that in there. I probably didn't have to, explain or anything. I don't know. It's not necessarily explaining to me. It's just, what I feel like. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it's necessary here. And I like the spacing of where it's spaced out to the point of where, like, the line of, but alas, I stay mute, walking away. Even with the spaces, it's symmetrical to the line right afterwards, which is dragging along the waves I ate, or rather drank. Love it. It just scratches that part of my brain. Because silence is its own horrific breeze. And silence is a battle of itself. Yep. Yep. So let's move on. You watch me. Let me stop. I'm so sorry, Roxy. I'm sorry. Let's move on to The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. Acevedo. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Hold on, let me pause and go to there. Let me pause and let me go to there. That doesn't make any sense. Please. Let me pause and go there. Or to the screenshot. Well, not screenshot, but photo. Not you seeing my hands in the ceiling fan. Anyways, but the Poet X book. Yes. Oh, I don't know if you can hear. Ugh, not her. Hear me. When I was talking right there, because my hand was kind of where the speaker area is. I thought, why in my head popped up listening device? Please. Who do I think I am? But let me read the book review. This is a lot chunkier than the other one. Man, it's hot in here. I want to cut on my fan, but I don't want to be disrespectful to y'all. And yeah, but it's a little hot. A little hot. Did my mom cut on the heat? I hope not. Anyways, although I did have some great times reading this book, I can't wholeheartedly give it a 5-star. I went through all of the ups and downs with X, more toward the halfway mark of the passage. I did eventually enjoy the religious aspects of the book because of how I can relate. It did have times of just ugh and ick moments, especially when it came to X's relationship with Amon, because of how old I am and how old the characters are. The mother in this novel was 1000% unredeemable. Let me stop. But I understand. Okay, hear me out. I'm gonna pause real quick from reading this. But okay, when I say 1000% unredeemable, that's just coming from like I'm just a viewer. I'm not there. I understand like forgiving your parents or whatever, but like in the moment when I was reading, I was like, hell, no, Uncle Ruckus type thing, please. But yeah, like I understand the complexities of that and like having family surrounding you and X, Y, and Z. Anyways, back to back to my commentary on this. Well, my critique, not critique, my review. 1000% unredeemable in my eyes, especially with not only the knees on rice. Oh, girly pop. You just gotta read this book. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna explain too so much on it, but because like it's just this little summary, and you just gonna have to read it for yourself because it was really good. It was when I mean it was good. I was sad. Calling your daughter Quetivo/hooker. Yeah, that was crazy work. She also destroyed her daughter's true passion by literally setting it aflame on fire. This is on fire. Let me stop. I definitely don't know what state of mind I would be in if my mom or anyone set my written poems aflame. The teacher and the poetry club members were the MVP along with her childhood friend that her mother preferred over her, which was crazy too. I think I was talking about like not the girl who she was having a friendship breakup with, but the other person. But it's been a while since I've read this. Has it been 2 years? Maybe. Crazy work. But anyways, but the knees on rice was like a punishment for something. I don't remember, but that was crazy. But I get it because, depending on how you were brought up and, maybe that was even tame for her mother at the time because maybe she had it worse because that's always how it comes down to the traumatizing other people. And it's just like, but at the same time it's just like you gotta know when that's just not okay. Because like my parents specifically, she did at one point, like once or twice with me when I was younger, but like then she just stopped at some point because she realized she realized that wasn't like it just didn't work with the children she raised, because me and my brother really didn't do anything bad when we were younger anyways. It's just honestly she could just yell at me. I'm in tears. I don't know what it is about like somebody yelling at you, but like mad or disappointed, it's just too much for me. And then also it's just one of those things of where I'm one of those people who like, even if I'm angry, I'll cry, but I'm actually just really angry. It's just, I don't know. It's almost like I want to say something, I want to do something, but I can't. So I have to restrain myself. But the only way I can express myself is through crying. It's giving crybaby. But that's why I loved Melanie Martinez music. Not anymore. I don't like her music. Once she started with the portals, was it giving, you know, wasn't there some allegations too? But I don't know. That was just, that's just allegations. But and then I don't know. It just feels like you gotta sometimes separate the artist from the art. But I still hands down love, Crybaby era, K through 12. I was sad. And then I think there was an after school one or two or three songs. I actually gotta look into that so I can listen to that. But anyways, what were we doing? I'm gonna zoom out. I don't think you can really see any of this, but I'm gonna be reading it off my my iPad. Oh, and I didn't show you the oh yeah, okay. So the Chlorine Sky, I gave it a 4.5 stars. Basically 5 stars, but you know. And this book I gave 3.5 stars. Only because, hear me out. Okay, my grading scale is, I understand that it's very important for like teens as well. Young adults, older adults to express their time with relationships and things like that. It was just a little bit too much for me because like I'm just like I don't want to see that or read it because of like the age thing. It's just weird, but that's just me. So like I'm not even gonna do too much on that because the book was good. The book ain't down. I have riveting um things to say about it. But anyways, let's get into some quotes. Why do I have this on here? Oh, there was like a title that said J. Cole versus Kendrick Lamar. And I had put that reminds me of Drake versus Kendrick Lamar song, Not Like Us. Yeah, that was crazy word. I think that was when it like just came out. When I had like put that in there. Yep. To build the church of myself, this X was always an omen. I just found that to be interesting because, you know, the poet X, you know. The panic slowly die because the panic slowly die. Okay, I got a screenshot of this and I don't have like the full poem to really dissect whatever I was trying to really like get at. Um Oh, okay. It says, well, what I wrote. Time is always a good healer. Okay, per. Alta Gracia, please be calm. Remember, anger is as much a sin as any Ziamora, Ziamara may have committed. We all need time to come to terms with certain things, don't we? And then I said, facts. Tell her that again. This was when I think they had went to her mom, her, I don't know if anybody else went, but went to the church. And I think this is the pastor talking with them and basically saying, telling the mother like anger is as much of a sin as what Poet X had committed, may have committed, you know. So y'all both sinning at this point. Um and I don't know if Father Sean just granted me a blessing or nailed my coffin shut. And then I said, yeah, that sucks that people want to be hypocrites and be mad when someone calls them out. And then there's a quote of saying, freedom seems like such a big word, something too big, maybe like a skyscraper I've glimpsed from the foot of the building, but never been invited to climb. I love, you know, seeing different people interpret different words like freedom and those impactful words already. It's impactful just saying like, what does it mean to be free? What is your definition of freedom and things like that? So yeah. Um and then there's a highlighted one. My mother slaps me back hard onto my ass. My thing was like, damn. I was like, wow, that's crazy work. Um all of the poems and stanzas I've memorized spill out. getting louder and louder, all out of order, until I'm yelling at the top of my lungs, heaving the words like weapons from my chest. They're the only thing I can fight back with. And then I said, that is evil what her mother did. I can never forgive an act so evil as that. Hold on. Not me spitting bars. Let me. Anyways, why did I have this highlighted? And so I love this quote because even though it's not about poetry, it is about poetry. It's about any of the words that bring us together and how we can form a home in them. Yeah, I like that quote because it's just saying, poetry is a thing of words. I like that definition of poetry. It's about any of the words that bring us together and how we can form a home in them. I don't know. It just sat with me. And isn't that what a poem is? A lantern glowing in the dark? Like that line too. Love that. Love that. Because there's a lot of discourse on like what is a poem. What qualifies something as a poem, basically. I've never mourned something dying before this moment. I have no more poems, my mind blanks. A roar tears from my mouth. Oh, I'm slow. A roar tears from my mouth. Burn it, burn it. This is where the poems are, I say, thumping a fist against my chest. Will you burn me? Will you burn me too? You would burn me, wouldn't you, if you could? And then I said, damn. Because, like, that's crazy. But also, it makes sense because, like, the poems came from your heart. That's where the poems came from. And then if you can burn that, then you might as well burn me too. Because you don't burn everything that I had. Everything that was inherently me. Anyways, sometimes it seems like writing is the only way I keep from hurting. Yeah, right. I feel that. 10 toes down. 10 toes down. Okay. And this one. Hold on. On the walk to the train, I call Caridad, and she answers singing happy birthday, but cuts herself off early. What's wrong, Zio? Are you crying? And then I said, not this happening on your birthday. Currently, my birthday is coming up in the silent side of my family. Finally wants to acknowledge my birthday after years of nothingness, of me showing up and showing out for theirs. I refuse to indulge in their guilty pleasures. That was just me commenting on that. But like, yeah, that's crazy how like the burning of her poems happened on her birthday. If I'm, interpreting this right. And then continues down. This is the same within the same poem, On the Walk to the Train. That was the title of the poem. My bad. Yeah. You ain't get hit with the times because you can't really see it. Hold on, I'm right here, but you can't see that. It's blurry. She tells me to come over. She tells me she'll meet me. She asks me what I need. Check on Twin. Make sure he's okay. And then I put, that's a good friend. I just need to breathe. I just need to leave. And I said, she is a good sister. And then there's a long pause, and I imagine her nodding through the phone. I think that's actually her sister she calls. Even though like her sister and both of them don't really get along, but I think if I'm remembering correctly, like I said, it's been 2 years ago and I might need to like brush up. But it is what it is and it ain't what it ain't. But yeah, I was just like, what? What? No, because when we got to that part of the book, I'm sorry if it's spoiling it for you. I didn't say that it was. Sorry. Go read the book to understand the. Oh my gosh, it's hot in here. Hold on. Let me just for a few seconds, real quick. Hold on. I just need a little. What was you gonna do without it? No air, no air. I need that put on too. Hold on. Oh, whoa, whoa, oh, I'm balling. Okay, let me stop. No, because I be teetering the line of copyright at this point. Right? I don't know. You tell me. But anyways, I don't know if you can really hear me that well over like this fan. But for the time being, I just need a little fan magic. A little wind magic, okay? Please. But anyways, this book inspired me to think of a 10-minute writing prompt. I might write a poem like afterwards. I was thinking that I could like write it while I'm doing this, but like I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna do that because it's gonna be silence and just me typing or writing or whatever. But I don't know. I just want to be in the zone, not have to worry about anything or whatever. And trying to keep it entertaining. But let me know if that would be something you'd like to see. I use see loosely, loosely, not loosely, but yeah. But if I, if you want me to include that in my videos of doing like with the 10-minute like writing something, because that'd be cool. But the 10-minute writing prompt for today is write about how you would feel if someone close to you or anyone, maybe your mother, the poet X's mother, burned a book filled with your writing. I said writing because, hey, you could be here and you're not writing poetry. You could be writing a novel, short story, non-fiction, fiction, you know, whatever titters your fiddle, okay? Or poetry, like me. But anyways, okay. And I wanted to research poetry books similar to the ones I've read. Okay, wait. Let me get into things you may find hidden in my ear. Let me go to that document real quick. Hold on. Okay. Here we are. We live in this city behind white now. Okay, let me stop. Oh, not the Kiki Waka. That's the theme song from Bunked. Oh, I just cut off my fan, but that wasn't enough. It's still hot. I'm burning. But anyways, so things you may find hidden in my ear. I actually let me pull up the book. Okay, here. Ooh. Anyways, that was my other Google account icon, and I gotta edit that out, huh? I hate doing stuff. Anyways, hold on. I'm just itching my scalp because I gotta wash my hair today, actually. Anyways, what was I saying? Okay, things you may find hidden in my ear. Poems from Gaza. Book by Mosab Abu Toha, which this book ate down to. I really did like this. This was a book from that poetry course I was telling you about. And let's get into. Hold on. And these are pictures from the book. Because I had to do like a book presentation for the course. I don't really have the actual like paper and things that I wrote about this book. And I'm kind of not remembering everything that I talked about in it, but let's keep it pushing, you know. And so I did like this visual. It says it's a picture of, I don't remember what it is, but a school. I think midterm test. When a drone follows you on your way to school, what is it doing? A, it's keeping an eye on you so you won't get hit by a car. B, it's watching in case you lose your pocket money on the way. C, it's counting your steps to make sure you're getting your daily exercise. Or D, It's covering your head in case a F-16 drops a bomb on you by mistake. And that was really deep because that honestly in encompasses this whole entire book. And this is about um Palestine and specifically the war in Palestine and the continual just war zone while you continue to have to um d- exist in your and do your everyday tasks like going to school, to work, etc. And it's just like you don't know when a bomb will drop, something crazy will happen. So it was just, yeah. And this visual is of some, what was I about to say? Grapes, strawberries. Through it all, the strawberries have never stopped growing. And that's a monument to, even though things are really crazy and etc., etc., especially within a literal war zone. Um, um, yeah, things still happen. People are still able to even write these poems. To evolve, maybe become a doctor. Um, the world continues to move basically, even through great strife. Um, you know, even looking at America's history. Come on now. The enslaved eventually, even if it wasn't in their lifetime, which is crazy to think, became free. I use quotation marks on there. Now let me check out which of these links actually still work. Yeah. Okay, this was the first quote. I meant the first link, but it said Palestine A through Z by Mosab Abu Toha, and we're gonna read like maybe two of these, but I just found it interesting, like a alphabet poem or something like that, like using the letters of the alphabet to, write a poem or sentence, etc. Um, I don't remember which ones I chose, but let's do D. Dar means home. Means house. My grandparents left their house behind in 1948 near Jaffa Beach. A tree my father told me about stood in the front yard. Dreams of children and their parents of listening to songs or watching plays at Al Mishal Cultural Center. Israel destroyed it in August 2018. I hate August. What plays are still performed in Gaza? Gaza is the stage. I don't know. I have little to say about it. It's just really good, and I like to be semi well informed, and I'm glad my professor, had this as one of the books that we could read because I think, yeah, it was one book per person, so I snatched this up real quick because it was poems that I really sat with. Well, how they wrote it, how I really vibed with, because some poems, even if they're about important matters or maybe not even about important matters, about anger, whatever, something that I like, but the way they wrote it, it's just like not for me. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just it's not for me. Anyways, let's do M. Mar Marhaba means hi or welcome. We say marhaba to everyone we see. It's like a warm hug. We don't use it, however, when soldiers or their bullets or bombs visit us. Such guests not only leave their shit, but also take everything we have. Oh, that was definitely deep right there. Honestly, I feel like all of it is deep. Because we we complain about our lives, which is valid, but also when you look at what's happening to somebody else, you're like, wow, maybe it's not so bad. My life is not so bad. And also you got to think about like, what can I do about X, Y, and Z? Now, if you're struggling financially, maybe focus a little bit more about yourself until you get financially sound. You know what I mean? let's not be too rash. We still gotta be a little selfish in matters, but definitely to the people who can. Anyways, my dad used to prepare milk for us with some kirshala before school. I was in third grade and my mother was at the hospital taking care of my brother. My brother died in 2016. Oh, anyways. I didn't mean to say like anyways like that, but what else is there to say? I'm not the intellectual to be, having a full on heated, well, not heated, but a fully in-depth discussion about this. But I do have a poem about it. So, in my interpretation of it. What was I about to say? Okay, let me go to the next. Okay, the second link is a no bueno because you gotta sign in to an account or whatever. Hold on. Let me go to the next. Okay, this is the third one on Medium. I swear Medium be coming in clutch. This is the second time I've used Medium. Well, not ever, but I'm just saying in recent time. But anyways, post graduation and stuff. For the kids, when they learn parts of speech next year, shrapnel flies in the dark, looks for the family's peals of laughter hiding behind piles of disfigured walls and bleeding picture frames. The radio no longer speaks, its batteries have burnt, the antenna is broken. Even the broadcaster felt the pain when the radio was hit. Even we, hearing the bomb as it fell, threw ourselves to the ground, each of us counting the others around them. We were safe, but our hearts still ache. Ooh, 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 ooh. Definitely, I do recommend that you read this book. Oh, and also read this article actually. But this is Mosab Abu Toha, but who wrote the book. But yeah, I think it's a very important read because we're out here looking at the media and seeing different things, but you're not really seeing the full brunt of it. You're not seeing the everyday. Just come on, just look at this book, read it, and really like internalize it, and maybe make an effort to do something if you can. But like I said, you're not financially sound, worry about yourself first. Because you can get from housed to unhoused, homeless, and that can happen in the blink of an hour. Not these days. Honestly, it probably was like always, but I feel like I need to emphasize these days, especially with the whole job market. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's look at the fourth link real quick. Poetry Foundation. Okay, with Poetry Foundation, this is the poem "Things You May Find Hidden in My Ear," which is the title of the book. Okay, for Alicia M. Kessenel, MD. When you open my ear, touch it gently. My mother's voice lingers somewhere inside. Her voice is the echo that helps recover my equilibrium when I feel dizzy during my attentiveness. You may encounter songs in Arabic, poems in English I recite to myself, or a song I chant to the chirping birds in our backyard. When you stitch the cut, don't forget to put all these back in my ear. Put them back in order as you would do with books on your shelf. The drone's buzzing sound, the roar of a F-16, the screams of bombs falling on houses, on fields, and on bodies of rockets flying away. Rid my small ear canal of them all. Spray the perfume of your smiles on the incision. Inject the song of life into my veins to wake me up. Gently beat the drum so my mind may dance with yours, my doctor, day and night. No, that was very interesting. why did I say interesting? That was very moving, I was going to say. Especially with saying like things you may find hidden in my ear, and then the aspects of them, and saying, you know, put that back. And this is kind of what makes me me. But yeah, hold on. Let me go to the last link and see if that worked. Okay, this is the Nation link. Forever Homeless. Oh, no thank you. We're not going to be joining anything else. Or subscribing or whatever. Sorry, but not sorry. Um Anyways, okay. Before my long travel, I packed. Okay, I think the title is Forever Homeless. Before my long travel, I packed my suitcases, stuffed them with some sand from our land, some scent from my mother's kitchen, and sounds of birds in the morning. And in my pockets, I put the 4 directions. My hands are the compass. At the airport, I beg the officer not to open the suitcases and, if needed, to touch my clothes gently. Otherwise, I would be standing on a worn out map. I would be weightless in the air. Okay, the rest you have to subscribe. And I don't have my book out right now. I'm so sorry, but it's really good. Yeah. I don't have any intellectual things to say about it because it's good. I'm speechless, and I really wish I had my thoughts on a piece of paper, but I don't have it right now. But yeah. Hold on. What was I about to say? Let me go back to my documents, and this is the poem that I wrote in reference to, well, inspired by this book. Okay. The sand sinks as I blink. In the distance, a hurricane of bullets fuses to the booklet, grieving lavishly. A mind limps forward like a vulture preening for more. Planes hum as they swirl, dropping pellets, cries, shrieks, screams wave at me. Silence is all it leaves. A heave I try to release, stuck on repeat, blink. The sands up to shin or chin, unknown to me. My hands grimace as I'm left to witness the hurricane's atrocities. Till the booklet closes, my ears so full of stories I can never unhear. And it's basically just how I actually feel about this, because I couldn't really like put it to words of what I was feeling with each of the poems, but it was moving. It was kind of in a way traumatizing. I don't want to use that word like crazy like that, but it was also a real thing that I needed to know. I needed to, in a sense, witness. Because we really don't know what's going on everywhere until we really like hear from word of mouth, like from the source. Okay. And I think it's really important, just like my poems about blackness in America, you know, those are important too. So this is one of those texts that I feel like is important, so just go and read it. And I'm half delirious because it's hot. I'm burning. I'm sorry. That was a very like more serious poems, which, you know, gotta give it its kudos. But definitely get the book and the other 2 books that I was talking about, The Poet X and Chlorine Sky. Of course, I am not sponsored, because who would sponsor a channel that has 1 subscriber and maybe 0 views? It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, because like it's just too early in the game, you know. What was I about to say? Okay, let's move on to what I want to talk about next. I think I'm gonna wrap it up, but I wanted to mention a little update. You know, honestly, I probably should have started with this one or something. I don't know, but what was I gonna say? Okay, I wanted to mention that I've started on my first poetry book. Okay, clap, clap, clap. In the background, yeah. Hold on. Let me actually go to. Hold on. I just wanted to go back to my good old faithful background. But yeah, I definitely already had like poems, you know, to submit. I was just watching a lot of like YouTube videos on like them, uh, of people, just mostly women, actually. Ironically, is it ironic? I don't know, but it was just women, which is fine. Which I'm actually kind of glad that the poetry book I chose, things you may find hidden in my ear for that course, was behind my hand, because I feel like I don't really read or listen or whatever to male poets, which is kind of crazy to think, but I definitely need to, like, you know, seek them out so I can read more of that poetry, because who doesn't like to be well rounded? Anyways, let me stop. Anyways, I've started my first poetry book. I would tell you the title, but I'll tell you it in like probably a dedicated, you know, video about it, of like my process of publishing or whatever. Yeah, I'm definitely probably gonna do it with Amazon. Probably, definitely, gonna do it with Amazon KDP. I forgot what that stands for. Maybe look it up yourself. Like, I am not here to be an intellectual majority of the time. I am just a ranter, and I just so happen to do poetry. As a side thing. Let me stop. It's a hobby that's honestly taken over my life. um, and what is? I wanted to tell you a little bit about the process so far. It hasn't been too like much, really. Like, I just had to figure out, first off, for a book, what is the theme? Okay, what is it about? What poems can I use? How many poems to put in this poetry book? Like, I don't know how many times I put into Google how many poems in a poetry book. No, like, because why did I have to search that up more than once? It wasn't sticking. It wasn't sticking because, like, it was like about 30 to 100. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then right now, I think I have like narrowed it down to like 65 poems. Yeah, crazy amount, but like not too crazy, I guess, because like the higher scale is 100 if it's factual. But yeah, we'll see how much the page count is, and like I'll probably continue to cut things that I feel like are not strong enough or I don't want it in there or whatever. But basically the first book will be not all of my poems, but all of these poems come from when I was in college and whatever I wrote during that time. So, and I definitely cut some because I was like, yeah, not too much on that, because still experimenting and things like that. And then like the poems, because I'm gonna also like publish poems from like this time period of my life, of just, I don't know, finding myself in a way. Up until now, at least I think I have like 45 poems, because I've cut some of them because I was like, I don't know about that. Because also still experimenting, still experiencing life, still like, yeah, you gotta touch grass in order to have poetry sometimes, or expound your intellectual field. Let me stop. The content that you consume, expand intellectually sometimes, because like I've literally written a poem about Monster High. So what does that tell you about me? Anyways, like I said, my hobbies, my hobbyist at this point. If that was if that was a category of intellectuals, that'd be me. I'm an intellectual hobbyist, if you will. Okay, I'm just speaking from my behind. How I plan to publish, yeah. I said Amazon KDP. Oh, and yeah, it was just a long thing, because I had to. The good thing about this whole like gathering the poems and things like that is because I told you that I have a book that it's, well, now it's like two little small little books. Um, actually three, because two of them, it's not. These are not big, okay? These are not wide. These are not tall slash long. Like, no. But it has a decent chunk because, like I said, 65 from college, and 45 from post that, and it'll be a year since graduating college in May, and I wrote like a my first poem since graduating, like maybe after my internship, so like September, October-ish, maybe I don't know, but yeah, so that's a lot of poems. But because I have them all down and pretty much in order, for the first poetry book, I'm thinking of just having them separated by theme, okay, and then the second one will be just in chronological order, because like I don't know, I was pretty sporadic of what I was talking, like I'm still not sporadic of what poems I write. Like it goes from this way to that way. Like I'm talking about race in this one, then I'm talking about uh what is it? What is anime? uh then I go into talking about therapy, and then I talk about so like I'm gonna just YOLO it. For the second one, it will be chronological because I mean, why not? That's actually kind of crazy, like having a theme, the organization of a theme for the college poems, like almost like organized in a sense, and then like disorganization for the chronological order one, even though like having something chronologically is organized, but it's sporadic because you go through different emotions and different experiences day to day. So that's kind of the, you know, disorganization or chaos. Anyways, like I said, I'm a little delirious because it's so hot. I'm burning. What's going on with the weather? I have questions. I have questions going on with the weather. It was cold and hot, and then you're cold. Yes, and you're no. Anyways, I'm sorry, Roxy. I'm sorry, but but I think that's. Oh yeah. But it was really the long part of it was going through each of the poems and reading it because I was like, man, let me. Do I remember fully what this title? What the title of this poem is about. Okay, so I had to read through them, so that took a little bit of time. I don't know if it took me an hour or so, but man, 65 poems, yeah. But yeah, and deciding whether or not I wanted it to be in there and like justifying its existence in my theoretical poetry book, because it's not fully out yet. Because I have to do the whole thing. And then I made sure to have like a page for the title of it. I have a section for. Do I have a section for acknowledgements? I don't know, but I probably will because I do get a lot of like inspiration from other things or people. Um, so I'll probably have that, and that's what it'll entail. And then I searched and it said like, forward slash introduction is kind of optional. So we'll see how that goes. Like, I feel like that'll be like the last thing that I do, like the acknowledgements and the introduction, of course. And then I think I have another section in there, but I definitely have like the table of contents I'm working on. The table of contents right now for the first book, which is the college poems. Um, that is just sectioned off into like themes right now. I have to organize it into like what poems first, what theme goes first. Okay? Then what's next? Then what's next? Then after that, then that, finally that. I don't remember how many themes I have. Maybe like 5 or 6. Um, or so. I'll let you know in that video, that dedicated video. But what else was I talking about? Yeah, the cut up in themes. And then I have to organize within that theme which poems go first, then the next, then after that, have it flow, have some rhyme or reason to it, not just sporadic or anything. I would love to eventually have like a full blown poetry book of, more like a full story of poems. Like the two, I think, even three, I think all of the poetry books that I've mentioned today, which are the three, which things you may find hidden in my ear, Chlorine Sky, and the Poet X. I think all of them are like it's one full story, and not necessarily a poetry collection, but a story, a book, a novel, in a sense. But I feel like that's not really my vibe of writing, anyways. I like to have it where I'm just writing about whatever comes to mind. But yeah, let me know how you feel about that. And, please share, subscribe if you want to. And honestly, I feel like I'll never post on my Instagram, but we'll see what happens with that. It will not be like what Substack was. Okay, we don't talk about Bruno. Okay, um, but I think I'm mostly going to use that poetry Instagram for just probably marketing my YouTube channel and just to look at different poems out there in the ether, different poets out there, that kind of thing. Maybe opportunities too, like that kind of spiel. I'm trying to cater, or you know build the algorithm that I want to have for that Instagram account, because that's what I have for this one. I'll probably make a video on that when I maybe eventually write a poem about it, because like that would be a cool like thing, because when you really think about it, like on your main accounts or whatever, you just whatever you like, whatever, so like your algorithm is giving you whatever that you've liked, looked at, blah blah blah, and then sometimes some random stuff. But with my poetry YouTube channel, I have it well down to a good science, because I get some poetry recommendations. Honestly, I should publish, not publish, but make public my what is it? My playlist that I have, cause like of like poet tubers, or like so you can see like them, because man, it's hard out here finding it's hard for a pimp. Let me stop. It's hard out here finding like things that I'm trying to look for, and like this is my I would like to say my intellectual account. Let me stop. But my when I'm trying to be productive, I look on here, look on this channel for YouTube videos and things like that. So like I watch videos from like other rant videos about um books, or poetry, the state of the world, whatever, blah blah blah. Journaling. What else? What else? Poetry. Any like writing centric things, like how they publish their book, even if it's not poetry specifically. Um, but mostly catered towards poetry as much as I can. I might need to make a video on that. Definitely. And then like just have recommendations of like videos that I've watched, YouTubers that I would recommend. Um, yeah. Anyways, that's about it. Bye, y'all. Let me stop. But I'll see you in the next video. Okay. Do you like my upload schedule? Anyways, I am thinking about just keeping it to the 2nd and the 22nd, because the 1st and the 11th, they're just too close together. I like having like one in the beginning of the month and one like closer towards the end of the month, I think. So you're just gonna have to bear with me in March, because the 1st and the 11th I already scheduled those videos. And I guess I'm gonna need to like edit the previous video and this video, because I made an oopsie in the other one, and this one I have to just um take out that clip of the my profile because I don't want that on the video. That's about it. But anyway, bye.